Hello and welcome to another scrawlrbox. This is the 117 and we have a pastel pencil. And we have even more pastel pencils. So we have the white one in 113, a brown one in 132, 009, 037, 031, and 033. A little pastel sharpener, that's nice to have. A little snack, and a sticker. We also have a pastel mat, card for pastel paper, 360 GM in A5. So yeah, exciting. And this is the month's print, which is A Little Rabbit by Helen Jones. There's some little, yeah. And there was also a magazine, but I did open this box when it first came, and I have no clue where that magazine is at the moment, so sorry. It did come with 3 pastel cards, so let's use one for swatching. I'm just gonna... Oh, I don't like the sound. It's quite easy to... yeah. But the colors are very rich, it seems. Which is good, because I prefer rich colors. Now, I am not a huge fan of pastels. Probably because I never gotten into it and I haven't really explored a lot with it. You know, like the usual. I tend to opt for paints or alcohol markers. Oh, that was a lot brighter than I anticipated it to be. But that's fine. It's not like the most inspiring colors, but okay. Did I smudge a lot? Yeah. There is some smudging, but not a lot. If you layer them, can you I have back on my finger. Not green, but I think I'm gonna go with a sunflower. Just like a little warm up. And so I decided to draw a sunflower, and I just started with the brown and made a circle and just scribbling in circles to try and get some depth and detail without actually spending the time doing it. And then I wanted to add some more contrast, so I did use the gray, but it did turn out more bluish. So I went over with the brown again to just get more color. And then I went with the black to make the little dots, or like the seeds. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, it was not a great pen to make dots. But so it turned into more lines, I guess you could call it. And then I decided to just smudge it all together to see if that would make an effect. and it did make it a lot softer, and it blended a little bit. And so I started sketching the petals on the flower. And this was just like a very quick, easy warm-up sketch to get to know the products or supplies and just like get used to it, I guess. So yeah, it's not the best sunflower, not nearly. But it was fun, and it's a process of making art. So yeah. Then I added the back petals to give the flower more dimension and look even fuller. Then I tried to add some shadow to the back petals by using the brown. And I wanted to try to smudge it, but I should have used a Q-tip or something because it was too small to smudge with my finger. And then I went in with the yellow, orange, whatever, to make the petals. And I just colored that in for a while. I have absolutely nothing to talk about while doing this voiceover. So yeah. And then I colored over the back petals to try and like get a shadow a bit lighter, but still trying to define them with the shadows, I guess. I'm making the circle like smudgier so there weren't any harsh lines. But then I decided to make the petals more distinct, so I went over them again with the darker color. And I added some white to give it a little pop of light and some highlights, if you will. But I'm not sure if I like this. And I also see now that I could have added a lot more of the yellow. Because you can see a lot of the paper shining through, which I also kind of like in a way. And then I saw a photo on Pinterest of a sunflower with a little butterfly on it, and so I decided, why not? And I made the antennas into little hearts. And then the butterfly was like an orange-red kind of butterfly. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. And so I tried to make that. But with these pens, you couldn't really sharpen them into fine point, which I usually prefer, especially with details. So I did struggle, because if you sharpen them too long, they would just break. So that's a downside of these, but a lot easier and pointier than the normal pastel blocks. And so yeah, I just add the stem, and that's that. On to another piece of paper. I'm gonna grab a ruler. And I'm not gonna measure because I hate doing that, even though I always end up regretting it. Okay, so like, whoa, yeah, nice. And just, whoa, okay, super duper. I am gonna cut it. Maybe. So now I got 6 little pieces of paper, which feels like a fine sandpaper, by the way. Yeah. Okay. I have a reference off camera, just letting you know. Not that you care. Not that anyone's actually watching, but you know, I'm trying to have fun. So I started with the white pencil to just make a sketch, I guess. And so I made a little eye and an eyeball because it seemed like the smartest thing to start with. And I also really liked the sketch in white, actually. It was fun and different than usual. And I don't have anything to talk about. But yeah, I volunteer at a theater group called Andreaeeggen in my hometown that my mom actually runs, and I used to be a part of. And this spring they did play the Jungle Book, which was really fun. And I am on the makeup group, and so I actually got to do the makeup for Shere Khan, the tiger, the mean guy, the villain, yeah. And I actually did experiment with a lot of makeup looks in preparation for doing that, and stared at a lot of tigers, and actually got really into tigers for a little while and had a lot of fun with them. And so it was I realized I hadn't actually looked at their eyes for a while. I haven't done anything tiger related since spring when I did the makeup look. And so it was kind of fun to go back, especially since in June I went to the zoo and I did see tigers and the whole presentation, and I learned a lot of stuff about them, which was really cool. And I got to see them climb a three. I got to see a tiger climb a three. Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. And it was also really hot, so one of the tigers decided to go for a swim, which was also really cool to see. And here this is actually the pointiest I could get this pencil to get, which, I mean, I guess it's sharp, but compared to a normal pencil or like a colored pencil, it's not sharp at all. And yeah, I just added in the eye and some pupils, and they actually have dark, like almost black, gray, brown, really dark around their pupils, which I found quite interesting, because like, why do most animals have this and not white like humans do? I should probably Google that sometime, but can't be bothered. But yeah, got me thinking. And then I went in with all the black, following the reference, and yeah. Oh, and yes, when I did the makeup look, I also took a lot of inspiration from Tigress from the Hunger Games, which is actually super cool, like the whole look and the, yeah, cool character overall. But the eyebrows of this tiger and like the eye and the liner that goes up into the forehead is actually really similar to what we did end up doing in the makeup look. So it was fun to kind of do it on paper, because it felt like something I had done before, and it was familiar to me in a way. And then I did go in with the orangey yellow, yeah, and colored in basically the whole square. But I did kind of wish it was a darker orange, because it is a lot on the yellow side. So for a tiger, I think I would prefer just a tiny smidge more on the orange side, but it's fine. This was just for fun and to use the products and getting to know them, and I did actually end up really liking the result. And I spoiler alert, I did finish all 6 of the squares in one sitting while doing this, which was really fun because I haven't been this motivated to make art for a really long time. aka why this video is so late, even though I got the box in like super late May. But yeah, and as I'm filming this, I have 2 other scroller boxes laying in my art studio, so maybe I'll get around to filming with them soon as well. Hopefully. I haven't even opened them, to be honest, so yeah, I should probably do that soon. And then I filled in the white, which was really satisfying, and I did learn later on, as I kept doing the squares, that I could have used my finger to like smudge them and blend them a bit, especially the white and the yellow. I think in certain areas it would have been even better if I did go back and smudge them, but I did put on fixative before I learned this, so yeah, maybe in another time. And then I did want to add like a little illusion that, okay, here's the nose. Which, not sure if it reads, but yeah. And then I decided it looked really flat and I wanted to add some textures. So I went in with like dark brown and just lightly scribbled in circles and scratches to just make it look like fur, I guess. No, I don't really have anything more to say right now, so I'm just gonna let you watch the video and I'll come back soon. Enjoy! And this is the finished tiger eye. Yeah. And then I went on to a new square and I decided to go for another animal eye because it was easy and fun and quick. And I went on Pinterest and I found a reference and I found a picture of a zebra, which I thought would be fun, especially on this paper. So yeah. And they have really long eyelashes. I've never thought about that before. But yeah, they had long ass eyelashes. And I always forget to add eyelashes in my drawings and paintings and like everything I do. I suck at doing them and I always forget them. So yeah, see, I got reminded eyelashes exist and I had to add some to the tiger. So yeah, at this stage the zebra eye does look like an ostrich, like an emu to me. I don't know why, but it does. That was all I could think about, and I was like, oh damn, I wish I had like a pink pastel to do like a flamingo or something, because that would have been cool. But with this limited color palette, it was a challenge to find animal eyes to draw, but it was actually a lot of fun and I did enjoy it. And this is the point where I realized I shouldn't have added the eyelashes yet. So yeah, that's gonna annoy me the rest of this drawing, but yeah. I added in the pupil and made some light highlights. And then I went and added the iris. and just some textures. And then I re-added the eyelashes and added some light in the eye just to make it look a bit shinier. And then it was time to start drawing some of the lines, which was actually quite fun to just sit and look at a zebra and like figure out where the lines goes and when they stop, and how some of them are just thin all the way or thick all the way, and some of them are just like really inconsistent, and some are consistent, and some goes one way and some goes another way. So it was actually quite fun and interesting. And then I struggle with the eyelashes once again because they smudge, so that's on me. Yeah, but hey, at least I learned to not add eyelashes just because they're a critical part of the sketch. And I also think it was quite nice to have it with brown stripes, because a lot of the zebras I saw online in doing this, but also the ones I've seen in real life, a lot of them actually has more kind of medium to dark brown stripes. So I'm not really sure why some have black, probably some race thing, but yeah. But I did decide to go in and add the black stripes, just to make it more recognizable as a zebra. And I also couldn't find out if they have eyebrows. Like the tiger I know has an eyebrow, but I couldn't really pinpoint an eyebrow in the zebra reference, so yeah. There's that. And I also did like using mainly black and white. It was quite fun. I think I tend to use a lot of colors because it makes me happy, just to look at something bright and colorful. But it was quite soothing, and it was actually fun to use just black and white. And I went in and added some more gray. And added some eyelashes. And when I did this, I did smudge the black onto the white. Yeah, lovely. Yes. So I did go with the white and tried to save it, but it did not work at all. There we go. Okay. A zebra and a tiger. Yay! And now I'm tired. So we made some swatches and a sunflower, a butterfly, and a zebra and a tiger. The paper itself is quite textured and like a very fine type of sandpaper, but I do like that it's tan, although I'm not using it to my advantage. Yeah. Pencils are great. Quite powdery, so you could probably use them like as a base in a mixed powder. I'm not quite sure how pastel actually works, I'm not sure, but I do love that it's in a pencil and not like the usual bricks kind of things, because they get messy real quick. Not that it's, yeah. Some of these did break off quite a bit when I was sharpening them, but the sharpener was real good and it's easy to get out if it breaks, so that's a plus. And yeah, if you want to see me finish the rest of this and see what I do in the future, give this a like and subscribe, and maybe I'll make something of this and the last piece of paper, and it'll probably end up on my Instagram or TikTok, so follow me along there as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, 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 bye.